All right, Cowboys fans, gather around because we need to talk about something huge from last night's game. Quinnen Williams stepped onto the field and immediately showed why he is worth every bit of the hype. I am telling you, this guy didn't just make an impact on the defensive line. He changed the entire dynamic of the defense. From the first snap, you could see the kind of presence he brings, and it's not subtle. This is the type of player who makes quarterbacks think twice before stepping up in the pocket. And the opposing line feels it in every assignment. So, let's break it down play by play and really see what Quinnen did. From the moment the ball was snapped, he was aligned perfectly alongside Kenny Clark, Osa Digizua, Donovan Ezaraku, and Davin Clowney. This is essentially what the Cowboys' ideal front five looks like. And having Quinnen there changes the calculations for anyone lining up across from him, right off the bat. You can notice the depth he gains even before the quarterback, Geno Smith, can settle into his drop back. Quinnen is already making contact, putting hands on the right guard and immediately creating problems in the middle of the pocket. It is the kind of pressure that disrupts timing, and that is invaluable. The gap he opens up just by bull rushing his man is enough to create hesitation for both the quarterback and the backfield. The offensive line has to dedicate multiple players to contain him, and that frees up opportunities for the rest of the Cowboys front on that first series. Quinnen is already showing that he has the explosiveness to collapse the pocket almost single-handedly. He is not just pressing a line, he is dominating it, forcing quick decisions that can lead to mistakes. One play in particular highlights what makes him so dangerous. Geno Smith hadn't even fully set up yet, and Quinnen is already nearly on top of him, putting hands on the guard and pushing forward with such power that it threatens to disrupt the entire play. The right guard is getting overpowered, and you can see how the defensive tackle's movement immediately creates a chasm in the line. A corridor of pressure that the quarterback has no choice but to acknowledge. It is the sort of play where even a half-second delay from Geno could have meant Quinnen's first official sack. Now, it wasn't always clean. Sometimes the offense would double-team him, but that didn't slow him down. On one snap, he got hit with a double team. Yet his effort remained relentless. He maintained his rush lane integrity, which is crucial because it shows his football IQ is on another level. He doesn't just crash blindly into the quarterback. He understands angles, timing, and spacing. By keeping his lanes controlled, he allows linebackers and secondary players to make plays around him. It is precision mixed with brute force. Watching him alongside Kenny Clark is fascinating. These two inside guys are a nightmare combination. On several plays, the pocket collapsed almost immediately, and you could see the offensive line struggling to adjust. Quinnen's hands, leverage, and footwork make him extremely difficult to contain. There is a play where his left hand is perfectly placed on the shoulder of the offensive lineman, giving him leverage to move his man out of position. That is textbook technique executed with overwhelming power. Even when the lineman tried to hold him or wrap around him, Quinnen kept working, refusing to let the play slip away. The result of that kind of effort is not just sacks or pressures. It is forcing the quarterback into quicker throws, disrupting timing, and making the job easier for everyone else on the defense. It's subtle, but that is the mark of an elite defensive tackle. He is constantly reading the play, flowing with linemen who attempt to release, and positioning himself where he can make a difference. You can see it on plays where he doesn't get a sack but slows down the progression enough for a linebacker or defensive back to close in and finish the play. That kind of awareness and control is what separates a good player from a game changer. Quinnen's consistency is striking. From the moment he steps onto the field, he is putting relentless pressure on whoever lines up in front of him, right guards, tackles, anyone he is pushing, bull rushing, and refusing to give an inch. That forces quarterbacks into uncomfortable positions, and it opens opportunities for the rest of the defense. His ability to maintain lane integrity while also creating chaos is a rare combination. He is not just raw power, he is strategic, disciplined, and incredibly intelligent in how he attacks the offensive line. There was a moment when he almost single-handedly disrupted a play, forcing the quarterback to release the ball immediately. The pressure was so fast and precise that it didn't even allow the quarterback to fully process his options. And on another play, Quinnen recognized the lineman attempting to release and flowed with him, maintaining leverage and positioning himself perfectly to make an impact. That is elite-level recognition. It's clear that having Quinnen Williams on the field elevates everyone around him. The Cowboys' pass rush is more dangerous, the linebackers can flow freely, and the secondary benefits from quicker throws and disrupted timing. Every snap he plays is a statement. He is here to dominate, and he is changing the way opponents have to plan. This is the kind of debut that energizes a defense and sends a warning to the rest of the league. Even when he doesn't get the statistical highlight, his presence alone is enough to alter plays and create opportunities for his teammates. That's the mark of a player who can consistently impact games at the highest level. He is not just chasing stats, he is controlling the flow of the game, dictating how plays unfold in real time. It is discipline, intelligence, and power all rolled into one. And the Cowboys are reaping the benefits immediately. Watching Quinnen operate alongside Osa, Digizua, and Kenny Clark is an eye-opening experience. He puts hands on whoever is lined up in front of him, bull rushes with relentless power, and maintains his rush lanes with precision. Even when double-teamed or facing complex blocking schemes, he adapts, flows, and continues to disrupt. That is the kind of player who turns a good defensive line into an elite unit. And he did it from the very first snap. Last night, he was not just a player on the field. He was a disruptive force. The offensive line had to allocate extra attention to contain him. And even then, he still found ways to create pressure, collapse the pocket, and slow down progressions. That is rare. And it is exciting for Cowboys fans because this is exactly the type of talent that elevates the defense as a whole. Quinnen Williams is the kind of addition that immediately changes dynamics, and his debut proves that he is ready to make an impact every time he steps onto the field. Now, let's dig even deeper into what Quinnen Williams brings to this Cowboys defense, because last night was more than just a highlight reel. It was a clinic in how a dominant defensive tackle can change the entire rhythm of a game. Every snap he played, you could see the offense recalibrating, right? Guards, tackles, centers, they all had to account for him. And that kind of attention opens doors for the linebackers, the edge rushers, and even the secondary. When Quinnen gets his hands on someone and bull rushes them back, it's not just about brute force. It's about controlling the line of scrimmage, dictating timing, and forcing the quarterback into uncomfortable decisions. Take one of the plays where he faced a double team. Most defensive tackles would slow down, maybe even get pushed wide, and let the quarterback have a bit more space. Not Quinnen. He adapts mid-rush. He reads the movements of the blockers. He finds the gap, and he continues to apply pressure. That level of football IQ paired with raw athleticism is rare. You can see it when he forces Geno Smith to throw the ball quicker than he wants to. The secondary benefits instantly. Wide receivers get less time to create separation. Running backs can't slip into lanes, and the entire defensive scheme gets to operate with more freedom. That's a ripple effect that only an elite interior defender can create. And it wasn't just about rushing the passer. Quinnen demonstrated incredible play recognition and awareness throughout the game. On several plays, he read where the linemen were trying to release, where the quarterback was planning to step up, and he positioned himself perfectly to disrupt both the throw and the rhythm of the offense. It's one thing to get sacks and pressures, it's another to manipulate the field, influence decisions, and make the offense play on your terms. That's exactly what Quinnen did. One of the most impressive aspects was his ability to maintain rush lane integrity. He wasn't just lunging blindly at Geno Smith, he was attacking with purpose, closing lanes, forcing quarterbacks to move in ways that made them vulnerable to clean tackles by his teammates. It's discipline on full display, the kind that makes every coach want a player like him on their team. You could see how his wide, powerful rush limited escape routes and created bottlenecks that allowed the Cowboys linebackers and safeties to react faster. And the way he collaborates with Kenny Clark is just a nightmare for any offensive coordinator. These two inside men operate like synchronized forces. When one draws attention, the other exploits it. When one pushes a gap, the other is ready to collapse the pocket. That dynamic combination last night was evident over and over, creating confusion and pressure even against complex blocking schemes. The Raiders' offensive line simply could not handle the coordination, power, and awareness that Quinnen and Kenny brought. Even on plays where he didn't register a sack, Quinnen's presence forced quick throws, misreads, and hesitation. That's the type of impact you can't always see on the stat sheet, but is felt immediately by the opposing offense. Quarterbacks under that kind of stress make mistakes, and that is how you generate turnovers, incomplete passes, and lost yardage. The way Quinnen forced Geno to accelerate his decision-making is exactly what top-tier defensive tackles do. They create chaos, but in a controlled, disciplined way that benefits the entire unit. Quinnen also showed a relentless motor. He never gave up on a play, even when double-teamed or initially pushed out of position. He worked around blockers, maintained leverage, and refused to allow himself to be neutralized. That persistence led to multiple pressures and made every snap a potential highlight. And let's not forget his ability to flow with the offensive linemen's movements. He read releases, adjusted angles, and stayed in control, ensuring he remained a threat on every play. That kind of persistence combined with intelligence is what separates a really good defensive tackle from a game-changing one. Watching him disrupt running lanes was just as impressive. Running backs had nowhere to go because Quinnen's presence forced linemen to commit extra help, which opened lanes for the linebackers to fill, even on designed runs. His power and positioning caused hesitation, missteps, and sometimes outright tackles for loss. It's one thing to pressure the quarterback, but Quinnen's ability to dominate the interior and impact both passing and running plays shows his versatility and complete understanding of defensive strategy. And it wasn't only about brute strength. His technique was impeccable. Hands placement, leverage, footwork, timing, all of it was precise. He wasn't just overpowering. He was calculating, reading, reacting, and executing every time he made contact. It was with purpose. He didn't just push the man back. He controlled the engagement, creating maximum disruption while maintaining his own balance and positioning. That level of mastery over both power and technique is something you rarely see from a rookie in their debut. Quinnen's impact was also evident in the way he influenced the quarterback's rhythm. Every play where he created immediate pressure or even the threat of it, Geno Smith had to think faster, move quicker, and often release the ball before he wanted. That's exactly the kind of stress that leads to mistakes, incompletions, and opportunities for turnovers. The secondary gets an advantage not because they are doing anything differently, but because Quinnen and the front four are doing their job so well that the quarterback is forced into uncomfortable situations. And let's talk about the mental game. Opponents know when a player like Quinnen is on the field, and that affects every snap. The awareness he shows tracking releases, reading the quarterback, maintaining rush lanes is intimidating. It forces the offense to plan for him specifically, to allocate extra blockers, and to adjust their timing. That is how a single player can elevate the entire defense. It's not just about stats. It's about creating a consistent, disruptive presence that changes how the game is played. Finally, his effort and consistency cannot be overstated. Every snap he was engaged, moving, attacking, and adapting. He didn't coast. He didn't wait for plays to happen. He influenced them. That is the hallmark of a high-level defensive tackle. He is not just a part of the system. He is a game changer within it. Every team that faces the Cowboys now has to account for him, and that alone opens opportunities for everyone else on the field. Quinnen Williams didn't just debut last night. He announced himself as a disruptive force, a cornerstone of the Cowboys' defense, and a player who will make a difference on every snap he plays. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. The NFL world is buzzing after a bombshell trade has reportedly been confirmed. Myles Garrett is set to suit up in Dallas. The move, which instantly sent shockwaves through both fan bases, is already being dissected by analysts and insiders alike, sparking endless speculation about what this could mean for the Cowboys' defense and the league at large. While official statements are still sparse, sources close to the team suggest that the deal was hard-fought and involved multiple layers of negotiation, highlighting just how valuable Garrett is considered in today's game. For years, Garrett has been one of the most feared pass rushers in the league, consistently wreaking havoc on opposing quarterbacks and anchoring a defensive front that demanded attention. His move to Dallas immediately raises questions about how the Cowboys will integrate such a high-profile talent into their schemes. Will he redefine their defensive strategy? Could this finally be the piece that elevates their defense to elite status? Fans are already imagining Garrett lining up alongside some of Dallas' top defenders, a combination that could prove deadly for opposing offenses. Meanwhile, social media has exploded with reactions ranging from excitement to disbelief. Cowboys supporters are dreaming of the possibilities, while fans of Garrett's former team are left grappling with the loss of a player who has been synonymous with disruption and highlight reel plays. Speculation is rampant. Some insiders hint that this trade could signal a larger shift in team dynamics, potentially setting the stage for future moves that we haven't even begun to anticipate. What remains certain is that Myles Garrett in a Cowboys uniform is a story that will dominate sports talk for weeks. Analysts are already debating matchups, sack totals, and how Garrett's arrival could influence everything from game plans to locker room culture. If nothing else, one thing is clear: the NFL landscape just got a lot more intriguing. And Dallas has just made a statement that echoes far beyond the Lone Star State. As the rumor mill churns, all eyes will be on how this high-profile acquisition translates from headline to highlight. On the field, that's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.